Hello, I am Paul Robinson, and I'm just going to give a brief presentation on what I did for my senior capstone in the IT capstone at Legend High School. So my project was a data analyzer, and the purpose of this project was to make a program that could take data from a piece of hardware and put it into something that could be used by other people with software, with a graphic element. So the reason I created the project is because I had a bunch of friends come to me. They wanted to create a much larger project, which was a rocket, and they never finished their end of the project, but I finished mine, which was going to be controlling the servos and getting the angles on that, as well as getting the information from the accelerometer. So speed, velocity, and acceleration. In taking the speed, turning them into vectors to get velocity, and then finding out with that to get the acceleration. So the project worked with taking this Arduino circuit. So it's hooked up to an SD card read-write module, and what I could do with that is write to a TXT file, which would be written like this, and I would take the TXT file and use a program I made in Java using the library Swing and AWT, as well as threads to make a graphics based program to look at the data and plot the data points with any measurement I got from the Arduino against time. So in my example, I have a servo giving data on its angle measurement. I would write it down in a TXT file in time milliseconds on one side, and then split with a bar, and then it would show the angle measurement in degrees from 0 to 360, and then it would take that, put it into the program, and it would graph the points, and then you could take the program and you could look at any point from the start of when the Arduino was turned on to the end of the program of the Arduino, and it would use linear interpolation to find any point from within that time step. So there are no gaps in the data, which is really the main purpose of this project, really to find out how to graph the data and not lose the time in between. And it would use the average slope between 2 points, graph it, and if you wanted a specific point in between a point, like 2 given points, or you wanted like some arbitrary time, if you're at the 2 nearest points, find the slope, find the y-intercept, make a point slope graph, and then graph it like that. So again, like I said, the tools used Java. For the Arduino side, I used a FAT32 library to write onto the SD card in TXT format, and it was written all as an array for the graph. So I made its own data structure for the points, which takes in the time as x, and then whatever measurement you had. In this case, it's angle for the y. And I think the outcome of this was, despite the rest of the group not having time to finish their project, I got to work a lot on learning how to make a graphics based application rather than a terminal based one with Java. And with it being in Java, and I have tested this, it works across not just Windows but Linux and Mac OS as well. So it's cross-platform. I learned how to use threads to update the screen every frame that you request. So it keeps doing those little updates, and you can use your mouse cursor to get time. You can move around with the arrow keys. So that was really cool. I learned how to do event management as well as crash management. A big thing was I spent a lot of time making sure if something happens, like the file can't open when the program runs, or the system can't pull up the application properly, or it crashes. I have a crash system made, and with that it'll give you what happened, or like if you can't open a file, it'll be like the file's not found, try a different file name. But I learned a lot about how Java handles trying to get things like files, how a lot of that different stuff works, and I'm really proud of what I made. My part of the project is complete, and all the code will be on my GitHub. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned a little something, and you have some interest in learning more about the project, which I would be able to email you if you shoot me an email. Thank you.